Hi, and welcome to the first 2000 DC game review. The first game we're going to look at is Cabal on the Commodore 64. This is a gallery shooter and was originally made by the TAD Corporation for the arcade. This was one of my favourite games for the Commodore when I was growing up. It's pretty fast paced, in my opinion criminally overlooked in the best of Commodore 64 game lists as commonly found on the internet and on YouTube. It's pretty fast paced, it retains most of the charm and the things that made the arcade game pretty good, and overall is a very good conversion for the Commodore 64. What isn't so good is the US version, so we're looking at the European version here. There's two power-ups to get, just as there were in the arcade game, making your progress a lot easier as you pick them up, demolish the scenery, cut down hordes of hapless soldiers, laying waste to enemy vehicles, and even trying to cut down the stretcher bearers who come on to get the elite troops. They'll throw you a couple of grenades to try and keep you get off their back. All the stages from the arcade game are here, 4 levels of 4 screens each. Fill up the damage bar at the bottom of the screen to progress to the next one. At the end of each 4 screens you're faced with a boss fight, each time with a large vehicle, some of which have separate parts that you must destroy, others simply fire a pattern of missiles that you have to keep avoiding. As before, you must fill the damage meter to progress, and it helps if you've picked up one of the power-ups just before the boss fight starts, which makes it much quicker to get through. All that said, there are a couple of things that are missing from the arcade machine here. There's no simultaneous 2-player options, instead you're limited to taking turns after each player completes the screen or loses lives. There's also no roll ability as there was in the arcade machine. This was invaluable to avoid enemy fire and to get your sight out of tight spots. Instead, your machine gun has a magical ability to shoot out of the air enemy bullets, bombs, grenades and most other projectiles that head your way. Grenades can also do the same thing, and you can also use the handy trick of blowing up some of your cover to fill the damage bar to progress a wee bit more quickly. All in, this is very well presented for a Commodore 64 game, and you would expect so with it being such a late entry into the Commodore 64's lifespan. Really what they've achieved here is well beyond what you would expect from the Commodore 64 in the early 80s. Emulating such a polished and graphically impressive arcade game at the time should really have been beyond the Commodore 64, but the special effects team pulled it off. So is this really worth playing today? Of course it is. It's still a lot of fun, it's still pretty fast paced, and there's a surprising amounts of sprites on screen given the notoriously low sprite limit on the Commodore 64. If you've turned up your nose at coin-op games before on the C64, load this one up and give it a try. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe.